Hey guys, as always, thanks for stopping by. I got 10 questions for you. Y'all have asked and asked repeatedly for me to give my opinion on what's gone on over the last 24 hours. So I'm going to give it to you, but I'm going to pose them in the form of 10 questions. Got a couple other things to go over. This one isn't going to be super easy. I think this is take 4 or 5 because it's a tough subject and I'm going to ask some tough questions. In this video, I'm going to share with you my top 10 takeaways and again, a couple other things to go through. I do want to hear your opinions and I do want to have a conversation on this. So buckle up. Let's talk about all that. Hey, today's video is brought to you by CMMG. Y'all know I love them. Now, there's sort of 3 categories. The Banshees are the PCCs, the short boys, and they are crazy popular. The Resolutes are more standard size. Y'all know I love my number 1. It's the TriStar. And for you distance guys and gals, it's the Endeavor series. Huge line in every caliber under the sun. Pick out your new favorite over at CMMG Inc. and tell them that I sent you. Also, to all of you people, I'm doing this one in one take. I promise myself I'm going through this, and I'm not going to chase any of these 10 because there's a lot going on in what's on right here. To each of y'all, thank y'all for every thumbs up. I do appreciate that. Y'all have been crushing that as well. All right, let's jump into it. A couple comments. I'm going to give you my top 10 questions. And again, it's a little bit tough because this is a big deal. Now, a couple things. Prediction. We don't know everything that's going to go on that went on yesterday. We don't know all the players in the games, but the prediction is we never will. I don't think we'll ever know what actually happened or what went down. I don't think we will. I think it's too big, too vast, too many players in the game. And I'm left sitting here at the house doing my research all day long. People have been sending me stuff. It is insanity what people have sent me in the last 24 hours. Nonstop. I've read it all. I've looked at it all. I have listened. I've watched podcasts, everything. Like, it's a lot. We'll never know. That's my prediction. Also, the title of this video is Which Side? Which side are you on? Which side is this person on, that person on? When Viking Horn Dude hit yesterday, all day people were trying to figure out which side is he on. 100 people asked me, Johnny, is he this side or this side? Does that tattoo mean this? I saw him at one of these rallies. Well, it turns out he was at that rally early in the summer. I listened to an entire interview, a long interview, and he wasn't there for the reason. He wasn't there for this reason. He was there for this letter, and he is hardcore this. But the point is this. So many people try to put him into a box of this or this, blue or red. It is not that way anymore. The media has taught us that the whole world is bifurcated. It's not. There are layers and nuances. There's layers this direction and this direction. What do I mean by that? There is a lot. We'll never know all the players or all the motivations or all of the end games. We just won't. But I'm sitting here today telling y'all this. We never will know. But also, it's not one of 2 directions. Finally, how about narratives? Mr. Gunziger made a post last night, and he said that it doesn't matter what he said, people in the comments will immediately spin the narrative in the direction they want it to go, and they'll also will perceive, they won't listen to his words, they will perceive what they want to hear. This isn't a negative what I'm going to say, it's just reality. People are going to hear these 10 that I'm about to say, and they're going to spin those in the direction that they hear. And that's okay, perception's reality, we all have our own opinions, and that's fine. My point is, it's nuanced and it's a mess. And yesterday, boy, it was a mess. Here's 10 takeaways. And I'm going to do my best not to do commentary on any of these. I'm going to propose these as questions. What did I miss? Let me know if one of these you like, if one of these you agree with, or that you have questions on. But if I miss anything, let me know as well. What questions do you have? I do want to have a conversation on this. I'll do my best to read every one. 10 things, takeaways from yesterday. These are all questions. Number 10, did you see the Capitol Police run away? Ran away. That one dude looked like it was bad acting, like really honestly bad acting. He looked like a high school bad actor in some high school play. It was so painfully obvious. I don't know what was going on, but something was fishy. I think for me, that's the word of the day is fishy. Number 9. Where was the national outrage during months of these guys' protests? Months and months of burning buildings down. No national outrage. They were brave. They were patriots. Yeah. No national outrage until yesterday. Number 8. What's the end game? Now, I mentioned end game a moment ago. I also said there's a lot of different players. It's not just two different sides. What's the end game for each of these, for all of the players? I don't know. Like some of the things yesterday, I'm like, what are they trying to accomplish? And then all of a sudden we start talking about amendments in the mid-20s. Wild, wild stuff. I think it's bigger than that. I think it's bigger than that mid-20s amendment. I really do. I think it's much bigger than that, but I'll have to put on tinfoil for that. Number 7. This is fun stuff. It is fun. Like, it's interesting, but it's also hard. Like, this is a wild, wild ride. Facebook and Instagram are already deleting anti-pro raid posts. Why? Why are they deleting that stuff? What are they trying to protect, or what narrative are they trying to spin? Number 6, who paid off the rhinos? I want to know the answer to that. In recent years and in recent months, several rhinos have just turned on a dime, at least seemingly. I showed y'all this guy's face yesterday. Wasn't no love lost there. Number 5, how deep is that deep state? I used to think it was there, but the further we go, I think it's there, and I think it's prevalent. I think it's everywhere. I think it is pervasive, and I think it's powerful. Number 4, how did these guys get in the mix yesterday? These guys right here, how'd they get in the mix? They were there. I don't know if they were there in force or just a small group, but how'd they get in the mix of that group of all people? What put them there? Who put them there? Who paid for them to be there and paid their travel? They don't work, so somebody's paying for that travel. You know they're not employed. Next. I feel like it's Spicy Friday. Spicy Friday without the fun. Next, number 3, how long until we admit that big tech is in charge? 9mm SMG made this post earlier today, and he's right, that most people get their social media, their information from social media, their news from social media, and the narrative is being spun by big tech. In many ways, they are in charge. And they're not a faceless group. Like, we know who these players are. They're in charge in many ways. They are forcing us. They determine what we talk about at the water cooler. I'm not happy about that at all. It's bad. Number 2, how did they get in so easy? We spend nearly $1 trillion on a defense budget, yet a bunch of rednecks with flags walk in the door. Very little resistance, like they just walked on in. I could not imagine, before yesterday morning, could not imagine walking into a federal building of any sort, let alone that federal building, and just walk on in. No big deal. Hey y'all. How'd they get in so easy? There was some dude in a wheelchair cruising through the hallways. He got right up the ramp just fine. So very little resistance. They were not climbing in your windows, snatching your people up. They weren't. Some dude came up a ramp. So $1 trillion defense budget. Here's the number one thing, the question I'm left with, and I wish today was more fun. We're going to have more fun tomorrow on Spicy Friday, but it's a question that I'm left with, and I think it kind of tells the tale. One shot was fired yesterday. One shot. Who shot it? The federal government at an unarmed civilian. This is where we are, folks. That tells the tale right there. There's a lot went on yesterday. I disagree with a lot of it. I agree with some of it. I think some of it was interesting. I think some of it was timely, but there was a lot of things I think overall the whole thing was fishy. I ain't buying none of it, and I think some of y'all are there as well. Too many guys are at the point where they're saying it's all this or all that. Man, it's time to step up. I saw somebody today say, we're stepping up. It's time to load up. I think it's fishier than that. I'm moving, and y'all don't know this about me. I'll cover a little bit more of this over on Patreon later. And that's not a commercial, but I will. There's some things I don't want to put on here, but I'll be able to talk about on Patreon a little more openly. It's fishy. The further I go, the more tinfoil I wear. To anyone that is against us or our rights to do what we want, when we want, how we want, and own whatever tool that we think we need. Yeah, to any of those folks that are against us, regardless of which side they are on, anyone that's against us, from my cold, dead hands. Bye.